Hey everyone, hope you guys are all having a good day. There is a massive short against Bitcoin right now, and we're going to have to talk about it because if we break through that level of resistance, that's how Bitcoin reaches $80,000. So to get things kicked off here, I just want you guys to understand how massive this short is. Look how much money is short against Bitcoin right now, all because they're anticipating something of a bearish move coming out this week with CPI data, PPI data, and of course the FOMC minutes. The reason why March was so bad was because inflation was not doing hot at all. You guys can see we've been going sideways and sideways and sideways for a while. March, we saw a big pop and we weren't really ready for it. It was hotter than expectations. This time around, we're still looking at 3.4%. So we're not even going to be aiming for going down. We're aiming to go sideways. And sideways is going to be okay because we went down, we met expectations last month, and you saw what happened. They took off the table rate hikes, and then that gave the market a huge boost, and that upped the chances for us having rate cuts in September. Same thing. If we have a 3.4 CPI number that comes out on Wednesday, that will make even more people believe we are going to have a good cut in September. It may only be 25 basis points or 0.25, maybe 50. We'll see, but I think it's going to happen in September. And every time we have news that says, oh yeah, it's going to happen in September, you see Bitcoin spike. And you actually saw Bitcoin actually have this mini drop about 2-3% off of a hot jobs report. And that's not what you guys are looking for. One little tidbit here as well though, when it comes to services inflation, this was the big surprise from March and April. All of a sudden, things are getting more and more and more expensive again, and this is primarily around anything related to services. So if you've been serviced by another person, you probably noticed that's starting to tick back up a little bit. That's concerning, very, very concerning. But what I think we all kind of agree is Bitcoin, a lot of these altcoins that we're buying up, they're definitely meant to be held for the long term. You can see plan B right here. My plan forward, my forward guidance, for 2024 and 2025 has not changed since October 22nd when Bitcoin was below 20,000 bucks. Now, rise into April 2024 having around the SF2 model value 55K, pump after halving, we've had that plus the ETFs. Now, Bitcoin crosses 100K. I'm still sure we can get above 100K even when we do the technical analysis later in this video. We know that next level of resistance as far as our Fibonacci levels is $104,000. I don't know about getting to 150, 170, something crazy like that, but I think 100 is doable, and you guys know me, I usually guess something and it goes way above it, so maybe we'll be lucky and we'll be aiming for like 120,000, 130,000. But for me, I think a good level to start really scaling off is at $80,000 here. Now, you can see everything's been working out okay. He's getting some attacks from Twitter guys and such, but I think we're going to see that supply shock happen fairly soon, and that supply shock is really what's going to get everybody motivated to buy Bitcoin. And of course, it might not happen, honestly, the real juicy move until we for sure know when rate cuts are coming or when the rate cuts actually happen. And that depends on how choppy the market wants to be because, of course, we still have to worry about inflation every month. Most people thought we wouldn't be worrying about inflation at this point because inflation was going to be transitory. So again, it's going to be a little bit more of a delicate time ahead. But listen to Michael Saylor here. He explains why his company MicroStrategy is going to keep buying Bitcoin indefinitely, regardless of the price. And I also want to mention this, they are heavily shorted. And I mean heavily shorted right now. So if Bitcoin pops, MicroStrategy pops, and that's going to be a massive pop because people really are betting against MicroStrategy. And of course, right now, they are very much betting against Bitcoin. So just understand that at this point, if Bitcoin finds a way to pop off of that CPI data, you know we're in for some magical moves here as everybody has to buy to get out of those short positions.
You know, Archimedes said, you give me a lever long enough and a place to stand, I can move the world. Well, the place to stand is Bitcoin, right? I mean, it's not a commodity, it's a scarcity. So if it's a scarcity, it's like if I said to you, there's one city, it's at the trade crossroads of the world. It's the center of the digital economy. One day, everybody on the planet is going to be moving their capital through that city, but there's only 276 by 276 by 276 blocks in that city. And by the way, it's like 94% occupied. But you can buy another one of those blocks if you want. Do you want to buy some more? And the answer is, yeah, I want to keep buying because...
And that's the big reason here, guys. We know there's going to be that supply crunch. We know there's going to be that scarcity. We're just waiting for it to happen, which makes it so much more difficult to kind of manage everything. However, as you guys have known, we have seen a lot more people in the crypto community kind of lunge towards Trump just because he's kind of made some, you could even call them false promises. I'm not entirely sure if he's honest about this, but he's saying he's going to be the pro-crypto president along with RFK. Biden is kind of giving the stiff arm right now to, unfortunately, crypto, but he may get turned around as, he's trying to do the same thing with ETF. He's trying to walk a thin line. He's kind of not walking the line at all. He's kind of just staying in the anti-crypto phase with a little bit of a hiccup every now and again. It's like, oh yeah, let the ETFs roll through. So look at this for a second, because this is actually pretty interesting.
Behind me, a mega fundraiser for former President Trump is about to take place. But this isn't Mar-a-Lago, and it's not Trump Tower. This is the heart of San Francisco.
This is what makes it so weird. This is Nancy Pelosi's district. It's weird to see tech moving in this direction. I'm not actually a big fan of big tech, to be honest, so I'm not necessarily this doesn't really make me think better or worse of Trump. I'm just money, but in algorithms.
A liberal bastion of America. But in recent years, a growing circle of tech elites is switching camps. They're vocal, they're emboldened, and they're filthy rich. This week on Tech Check, Silicon Valley turns to Trump.
That is absolutely insane. But
it's a gathering of A-list tech heavyweights, and it signals a shift happening in the traditionally deep blue valleys of the Bay Area. 50 grand a ticket or $300,000 a pop for a VIP ticket that includes a photo with the former president. Pocket change for the tech founders and investors in attendance.
Go to a rally.
David Sachs, the venture capitalist who owns the mansion, he's one of the newer, more vocal conservatives in the industry. He donated to Republican candidate Mitt Romney's campaign in 2012 and then Democrat Hillary Clinton in 2016.
They go back
this year, he has thrown all his support behind the Republican Party, supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis' presidential bid, and now hosting the first fundraiser for President Trump after his conviction. The other host of the...
Actually, that's kind of funny. That guy's been bad investment. Romney, bad investment. Clinton, bad investment. DeSantis, bad investment.
The fundraiser, VC Chamath Palihapitiya, has also switched allegiances. He donated more than $250,000 to Biden in 2020, according to campaign records.
I am an apolitical person who has to make a difficult decision every 4 years. And I think most of us are like that.
Sachs and Palihapitiya, they make up half of the All In podcast, dedicated to giving an inside look at tech investing and wealth. It's amassed a loyal group of hundreds of thousands of listeners an episode, and it's an example of how supporting Trump in the tech industry once vilified you, but now can glorify you. Unthinkable just a few years ago.
All right, that's what we're going to watch right there. I don't want to go through the whole video here, but you definitely have just been seeing this move from big money over there, and that's good. That makes me more likely just to want to hold crypto and then just kind of let it ride into the sunset, make me a lot of money, and I'll look to sell eventually, but not anywhere soon. Why would you sell right before big money starts piling in? It doesn't make much sense here. Now, this is one little article. We're not going to be actually reading everything here, but this kind of follows that same story that we've been telling. Exploring BlackRock's BUIDL fund, bridging traditional finance and DeFi. So basically, we're seeing BlackRock start to allocate money towards the Web3 sector, towards the crypto blockchain sector. And this is showing that because Congress is starting to get their act together a little bit, money is starting to flow back in. This move highlights the growing acceptance and integration of blockchain technology within traditional finance by bringing real-world assets on-chain, enabling enhanced transparency and instant settlement. And what I think is going to be so much fun about this, guys, so much fun. You guys have no idea how hyped I am. We know that BlackRock and Citadel are looking to make a new Wall Street down in Texas. Can you imagine if there was a blockchain component to that because they were able to build from the ground up? What would you say to that? Would you invest in that? I think I would at this point, just because the New York Wall Street, it's good. It does what it needs to do, but it really hasn't tried to do anything with blockchain, and maybe eventually it will, to compete. But I think because Texas has a lot less regulations about the topic, and we may be looking at a Republican presidency, maybe as far as the polls are with Donald Trump, you might say that it's kind of a perfect storm for less regulation and more testing for blockchain within the traditional Wall Street setup, or, hedge fund system, trading system, whatever you guys want to call it. So I'm really excited about this move here because, again, Bitcoin may be going sideways for the past like month and a half, and trust me guys, I know it's been abysmal. But everything as far as, the news, the politics of everything, the money, where the money's flowing, it would typically suggest Bitcoin's going to do fine in the long term. Right now we have heavy shorts, and even with all those shorts, Bitcoin still found a way to bounce off the 20-day moving average, and we're heading up right now. Bitcoin is up a nice $511 today. We're still at resistance levels. If we break down all the technical analysis here, you guys know, let me get rid of the 20-day moving average here. There we are. You guys know we're still not bullish on the MACD, so this still isn't the best opportunity to buy. The reason why you're buying right now or later on for next week is mostly because of CPI data coming out, PPI data, and FOMC minutes, plus a little bit of a speech by Jerome Powell here. Those are going to be the big things. So we're not ready to blast off on the weekly chart just yet. The daily chart is neutral, or you might even call it bearish. The reason why I call it maybe more neutral than bearish is because we have the bullish change of character here. Meanwhile, the MACD is bearish, the stochastic is bearish, and RSI is bearish. Last time, even with these still being within the bullish change of character, we didn't actually have a nasty move down. Even when we had that bad job support data, we came down quite a bit. Bitcoin isn't the thing that suffered, guys. I think people really need to understand that. What suffered was all of the lower market cap tokens, or those tokens where people are usually more levered up. Think of a Dogecoin, big drop down. Bonk, big drop down. STMX, big drop down. Floki, big drop down, but not even a crazy drop down. Still holding up pretty well. So today, I'm looking at my Turbo. Turbo's popped up 23%. Isn't that beautiful? MOG has come back up a little bit, but you can see how some of these spikes have just been absolutely horrible. So some of the tokens that you guys might be looking at here going forward is OM or Mantra or Chiliz. Those are the best movers in the top, the higher market cap range. I say higher, but it's really 792 million and 1.1 billion. But they're still in the higher when you think about it. They're in the top 100 of CoinMarketCap.com. And for the meme coins here, let me adjust this very fast because sometimes it has to update. Hoppy is up 42%. MAGA is up 41%. Ben the Dog is up 36%. That is a great one to just buy and hold right now. $55 million market cap, and it's still going. Andy, 36%. Slothana, 26%. And so we're looking at some really big moves. And there's Turbo up 20% right now. Everything you guys want to see is still looking pretty good. And Brett Base right there as well. So things are looking good. We'll see how this all plans out. But as far as these types of moves for the next few days, it still points to more sideways action, not necessarily just breaking out. The catalyst is going to have to be something like a good CPI data, etc. Even over here on the 4-hour chart, you're just now seeing things get bullish, and this is only going to last for a while before we start to get a little bit more of a pullback here. That pullback is probably where people are going to be buying, but overall, again, we talked about this order block a few days ago during like a midday video I launched. This was the time to buy if you wanted to take that chance. If it came all the way back down here, you're going to buy again. You didn't really have too much of an opportunity to buy Bitcoin because of how fast this happened, but you did have a chance to buy altcoins. So a lot more of my money, as I said before, is not really buying into Bitcoin at this point. It's dollar cost averaging the altcoins to make sure things work out in the future. So everybody have a good day. Hit that subscribe button if you guys haven't already, and I appreciate you guys.